Welcome to NC Wine Snobs as we savor the world one sip at a time. In this episode of NC Wine Snobs on Vacation, we stopped at the Main Street location for RAW Urban Winery and Cidery in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. This urban winery is actually a tasting room for Rowan Asher Winery. Rather than having their tasting room at the vineyard, they set it up in a downtown area so that urban dwellers would have a great place to go taste wine. When we visited, the options for a tasting included ale, cider, and wine, and we decided to go with a pumpkin ale, hazelnut coffee cider, amethyst, which was a purple Vidal Blanc, steel, which was a Carmenere, a red wine, and Kraken, a South African Pinotage. So here's what we tasted. First up was pumpkin ale. It had pumpkin pie spice and apple spice on the nose. It was like liquid pumpkin pie with a nut brown ale finish.
Yeah, in addition to those aromas of pumpkin spice, I also got that kind of sour funk
Okay.
on the nose, sort of that earthy, forest floor type smell. And I really picked up flavors of citrus, cardamom, and just general warming spices.
Interesting. Next up, we tried the hazelnut coffee cider. Definitely coffee and hazelnut on the nose. It had flavors of coffee and hazelnut with some apple sweetness on the finish. And it is an apple cider, so that makes sense. It made me think of a caramel apple candy with coffee.
Yeah, the aroma was just like Ferrero Rocher or Mr. Goodbar or one of those hazelnut and chocolate um, candy bars. And yeah, I mean you nailed it on the flavor. I mean, it tasted exactly the way it smelled, with that added apple sweetness to it.
And then we went to the wines and we tried a purple wine. And the reason why is because his sister loves the color purple, and I could not resist getting a wine named Amethyst. And it was a purple Vidal Blanc. It had a sweet tart candy nose to it, sweetness up front and tart on the finish, and a bit of a Granny Smith apple flavor.
Shout out M. Yeah, I mean the appearance was clear. This light lavender color, just a tinge of purple to it. Aromas of citrus, mango, and a little bit of fruit punch too is kind of what I picked up. Flavor profile: pineapple, tropical fruits, floral, citrus. It started out mostly sweet, but it ended up with this nice, real semi-dry type finish.
Wow. It's almost like we tasted two different wines on that one. Sometimes that happens. So next up is Steel, which is from the Carmenere grape. It had a cocoa nose for me. It was tannin forward, had some leather and tobacco notes to it, and it had a cranberry tartness for me.
Yeah, for me, there wasn't really a whole lot of aroma to it. I picked up hints of berries and maybe a little bit of tobacco. Flavor wise, bright fruits, some strong tannins in the middle and the finish, maybe just a touch of leathery flavors in there as well.
And last up was their Kraken, and this is a South African Pinotage. It had a raisin nose, dried fruit nose, a dark red color. It was clear. It was almost like a dry port in terms of the flavor. It had some smoky notes in berries and leather for me.
Yeah, from an aroma standpoint, I picked up a little bit of leather, a little bit of smoke, maybe a hint of chocolate, but mainly that dark, sweet cherry kind of aroma. Honestly, if somebody could take that and put it into a candle, that would be awesome. Had kind of a medium mouthfeel, very dry, very light flavors. Like you said, hints of plum, dark red fruits. I found the aroma to be a lot stronger than the flavor.
Now, across these five, and we had a variety. We had a pumpkin ale, a coffee cider, in several wines. It's really hard to come up with an exact favorite, but the Kraken was just amazing for a dry red
Yeah.
wine. And I think for a sweeter, I would say the Amethyst was a
Yep.
nice wine.
I'd agree with both of those. Well, what do you think? Have you been to Raw Urban Winery? If so, what did you like?
And if you haven't been yet and you decide to go because we intrigued you, make sure you let them know the Snobs sent you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on.